Welcome to our interim space. You just get the building open, then we'll probably have a nicer place to sit, but yeah. We'll leave that to the side. Business. The approval of the meeting minutes from 3/19.
They were online in the calendar invitations, but there's not one for everybody, but there's a few copies on each side of the table, each side of the room. Good side and the bad side.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve the March 19th, 2026 meeting minutes as presented.
Second. Questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, shall we vote?
We'll have to do a roll call, given we have some folks online. So Mr. Crucial.
Will abstain.
I'm a yes. Ms. Blair.
Yes.
Mr. Page.
Yes.
Ms. Brown.
Believe I was here? Yes.
All right, nice. Ms. Hill.
Yes.
Ms. Martin Boucher.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Fanning.
You left there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can abstain. Sorry.
abstain, okay. Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Christensen.
Yes.
Ms. Collins.
Yes.
And Mr. Quimby.
Yes.
Beautiful. Yeses have it.
Fantastic. Before we go on, I'm sorry, I meant to ask Aviva, do you know if Dory's planning to attend?
I believe she's on her way, yes.
Okay. She'll catch us in progress. Public participation, don't see anyone online, but I believe we have a guest at the end.
My cue.
That's you.
Stand here, stand here.
Wherever you want.
Wherever you.
Okay. Name is Mark DeFranco. I'm been involved with baseball in this town for about 33 years in all aspects, from little kids all the way up through. And recently I've been an assistant high school baseball coach. My son hired me. I said, well, you want my expertise? He goes, no, I need you to carry the equipment and get to all these pretty nights that we got to do. So I've been in Long Meadow and here and Powerhouse and that's my job. So if you remember about a year ago, December, January, I brought up the thoughts about converting the new baseball field to turf and gave, we all know the benefits, we had all these kids, multiple field usage and all that. And so I'm here tonight just to say, well, we're getting near the end of this school. And if there happens to be a little bit of money in the miscellaneous funds that we might be able to move around, if we could look into that, there might be some money left. I'm not certain. I mean, you'll know that with the school, but we did have some funds from the CPC that we're willing to chip in. They can't pay for the turf, but they can pay for just about anything else. And I have to go back and recommit that, but they seem pretty committed before. So we need about 1% of your budget, maybe a little under, to put turf fields in for the high school boys varsity and the softball girls varsity. And we could come up with maybe about half of that to help out. So I'm here saying, okay, you guys, you got a big job to do. This thing's coming near the end. If we could find a little money somewhere, we'd love to have the opportunity to look at turf fields again. If we could, find that money somewhere. And so that's just my plight. I might talk to Kevin McGee today. He sicked me on you guys about a year ago. He said, I think it's a dead horse, but keep kicking him. I go, all right. So anyways, that's why I'm here. I just wanted to come and say, we are still very interested. We'll do what we have to do. We've put up with a lot this year, but hey, it's been okay. 10 away games to start and then practice them wherever you can. Town's done a great job getting center field, at least the infield ready. The outfield, the ball still goes all over the place. But team's doing real well. They're enjoying it. They're dealing with it. And I guess I don't know how many more years we have of this, but I also think if we got the turf fields, it might get us on a field quicker rather than being nomads the way we are right now, practicing and playing anywhere, any place that would take us. That's kind of it. I just, I'm here begging. That's what you do. And I just want to put it out there, keep it in the back of your minds, plant a seed as you move through this whole process and you get near the end. If we can find some additional funds, let me know. I'll go try to find some other funds. And, East Long Meadow is really kind of a mecca for baseball. A lot of people don't realize that, but we had a couple Legion teams playing. We had 2 Tri-County teams. The Fall Baseball League was invented here. We had the Bob Atrengi tournaments. We got 400 kids playing in youth baseball. Now this field will accommodate all of them. Because the turf field, you can move them out, you go 60 foot, 75 foot, 90 foot. The corners can be used as little baseball fields for the Mustang, the Pinto, the T-ballers. Also, the Miracle League would probably love to come and play on the turf field. I know Springfield College, that's how they gained a lot of their money, putting the Miracle League in there, but that's something we can help with. So the DEI thing, there's a lot of real good benefits to doing that. And it's also going to be a huge moneymaker for the town. When we ran a Legion tournament in Chicopee, a state tournament, just a week, they made $50,000 for the organization, and they said it brought over $1 million into the local economy. That kind of thing can happen, because we'll be set up as a field that's got a gate and everything else. So okay, I'm going to stop the salesmanship. I just wanted to say, please, if you get a chance, if you can find some funds, just keep it on the agenda because it does a lot of kids in this town. By the way, we just had our 8th kid in the last 15 years go pro. So it's a good program, and these kids that go on to college actually play there. Since they come from a good background. They start them when they're young and they're ready to play in high school and then the next level. So it's important to keep that rolling. I have to leave now.
Mark, you said you could raise her a little bit half the money. How much would that entail?
I asked CPC,
Yeah.
Richmond guys, I asked them for 700,000 because that was the number that was quoted to me. They've got 2 million. They said, did a straw thing. Yeah, okay, turf fields, we'll get you the money. They then came back and said, we cannot pay for the turf. We can do anything else, the dig in the ground, all that stuff, but we can't pay for the turf. So.
But is that CPC money? That's the only funding source you have right now?
That's the only funny course that I went after because we didn't have any reason to.
I did foresee that more than half of the cost would be the actual turf, so I don't know that even half would apply. Is that a fair statement, roughly?
Well, we gave you the dimension. I can go back and look at that, what it was.
That's a lot of work on their part. I know they've had a lot of structure trying to figure it out, making the fields fit and do all this. Because you got a little space right here and say, make it work. It's not easy on these guys, and I'm sure that's. And again, they did give us a deadline. They said raise all the money by November. It's out. Well, I never found out what the amount was that we had to raise. We didn't raise it all, but I think we can maybe get half. If we could find half, and I don't know what half is. I'm guessing it's somewhere around 2 million because we're talking about 2 fields. We also want the girls softball to be added. If the boys baseball getting it just makes sense, the girls softball and the other get the same thing. So we're going to hit 2 organizations.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a choice. I think that'd be.
Yeah, I don't think it's a choice. I mean, that's what we prefer. That's what everybody prefers. But that's
When we budgeted this a while back, where did we land approximately?
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around 2 million
2 million,
to do
2.1.
both of them. There's a lot of drainage and subsurface work that has to happen. That's different than, loam and cedar sod.
Does that take into account the difference of the loam and the seed? Because we added. to
We
this.
kind of, yeah, and again, it was just ballpark to
Okay.
help with, some of the design areas, what you have to do. So again, it's ballpark to you actually give a design, we give you a real number.
I thought the deadline of like November 15th or whatever it was in the fall was more around, we needed to know so we could commit to a design.
The design and the irrigation that we already have in there, what are you pulling out, the
Right.
pump size, we already have the pump size for the
Your drainage
irrigation.
is different,
All of it's different.
all of it's different.
All of it's different.
now some of this has to be spent anyway on a new field, right? So you have a chunk of cash to build a new field, which
Well, that's what
can
we're
go
saying.
towards the turf field.
Delta-
Then if we can get more money to come in and do your drainage and all the other different things we gotta do, and then maybe there's enough fun to lay the carpet over the top, maybe we can pull this off. And I think if we get close, there's a few ball players around here made millions, maybe we can give them a call and say, feel that feel.
Not a bad idea.
I have no problem asking either. I haven't since he was this big, so time to pay him.
Did we already sort of make this decision on sod and change our design and sort of expend funds to get to that other design other than loam and seed, right?
Yes, we
We
do.
were at sod, now the whole area is.
Right. So,
The irrigation, that's the design right now. All the
Yeah.
fields and dugouts, everything else is with sod.
so in addition to paying for 2 turf fields, we would have to walk back some of whatever we've done for the sod. So it's more than 2.1 at this point.
Then
Is that what we're
it
saying?
also becomes a time issue. Right, because if we decided right now, yes, we're gonna go do this. Doreen and her team have months of work to come up with all the design parameters,
Correct.
right? And then you're figuring out, what do I have to unwind that I've already installed? What do I have to add back that is now a different requirement because of the turf? Not saying it's impossible, right? It's just time and money. So, you know, if we
Right.
had,
I do bring up the point too. I think we're told we got 2 or 3 years before we have a field.
Well,
Turf field might move that up. I mean, that's.
that's why we went to sod,
Right.
so that we could get.
So you'd be in a, good chance we can get it, it'll be fall or mid-fall, depending how it grows, it's 27, but it'll definitely be ready for 28 season for you guys, the baseball field, for baseball. So the goal is right now, you get the sod down in the summer of 26, late summer to fall, and then 12 weeks later, turn it over. So it'd be late fall, whatever, 27, but for you guys, it'd be 28 for the fields.
But once
Wait,
it's
right
finally,
now.
you have another year, you gotta wait. Is that-
No, grass seed and everything else is a year. The sod, once it's probably about 3 months till it really grabs, give or take a little bit, depending how the growing season is.
That sod for baseball would go down until 27.
It would not go down to 20 till 20. So after the school and everything else, because then after once the school's down, we have to do the whole field. You have to get the grades right. We bring the irrigation that's already there, create the dugouts, create all the lines and everything else. By the time you're doing it, not laying the sod in the middle of winter, right? Depending, I don't think we'll be there.
not if you want to live.
But talking time
Not if you want
frames,
to live.
That's right.
if you switched it now, you're still talking this almost the same season. Like, they're gonna get the baseball field back in the
On
spring
28.
of 28.
That's right.
If you switched it now to
Yep.
turf, it's probably 28 or
Right.
later, depending on how.
Depending on how,
Yeah,
the
the
design.
design-
Yes, correct.
It's every bit.
So time frame really hasn't changed. It might give the use of the fields for the soccer and everything else. For
Right.
the,
You could have that.
maybe by later fall of
27.
27, if it all goes well through the summer and into the fall, because it's a lot to do by the time we get that. So more than likely, it'll be still 27.
Yeah, it's a real lot.
It's a real lot to do. So
I'll probably just be in a folding chair at that point.
Very good.
No, on the field, natural grass.
So more than likely it's that. Talked about.
I would like to just throw out there too, that we're thinking short term here, and even 28 is not really short term. Long term, this investment's gonna have a huge payoff. The guys that are trying to get fields and rain and, all the other things we have, that manufacturing the field. The profit center it can become is another thing that, I don't know, maybe the town doesn't look into that, but turf fields, people have to come in. I know the colleges pay like $600 in Springfield, all of us to come in and just use them during a bad season. So I think there's a profit center to be had there too. So I'm gonna think long term.
Yeah.
Of course, if you think long term, you gotta replace the carpet 20 years. So that's impossible. But,
10 years.
then is it?
Yeah, so we're gonna try to do the football field next year. And that's over $1 million just to replace that carpet.
But in all fairness too, I also do, before I leave, I want to say one thing. Every person that goes to the high school in the town has a brand new tennis court, a brand new swimming pool, or gets to play on turf, except baseball. We've always been the redheaded stepchild. Softball is the same thing. So a little consideration for, which is probably the most kids that play this sport in this town, is baseball, as you come up through the ranks. And we are going to be hitting those young kids too. Like I said, the left field line, right field line, you get T-ballers and they could play. So you've got 3 games going on that field at once. That's 3 fields that were for the youth baseball. And if we want to hold tournaments and people want to play on fields, on a turf field, you got a pitcher's mound that you can move. I can put it 60 feet, I can put it 75 feet, and there's one at 90 feet. So that field is universal to every kid in town, from kindergarten all the way through Legion. So these are the kind of things we just got to think about, besides the money that it's going to take right now and the aggravation it's going to take trying to get this school done at the right time. I just want to point that out, just keep in the back of your mind. And if we find some money somewhere, we'd really appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Appreciate it.
Segue into our budget update. So I'll start just with what's been reported into MSBA's ProPay site. So to date, we submitted 104,360. Sorry, 104,360. God, I am out of it. $104,360, $97. And then over $52 million has been reimbursed. This is the part I was getting to. So the reimbursement that's pending that's out there. It's coming back to you guys. So again, we're playing catch up on some things. The process starts with Pam and Laura. They send us through the bulk of the invoices, the batch of invoices. Lynn works to put them into the system, and then we submit from there. So far we've submitted 104 million. We probably have another 6 million that has not gone in there yet. So it doesn't tell the whole picture, but most of it. And you see 52 million has been paid out to the town with 7.5 million expected. The remaining contingencies, so the owner's contingency, just over 1.1 million remaining, the construction contingency, 1.2 remaining, and then Fontaine's GMP contingency, 2.8 remaining. Again, this is a snapshot. The construction contingency is the one that you see weaned down the most. That's where our change orders to Fontaine's contract is coming from. Owner's contingency, that's again where any soft cost amendments to contracts, like JWA's amendment today is not a good example of that because that money is already built into the budget. But things that are outside of the hard cost, the construction contract would be absorbed there. So to date, that's still in pretty good shape. And then again, Fontaine's contingency within their VP contract, which I'm sure they have earmark some of that for certain things, but just to explain to you guys what is out there for contingencies at this point. There are additional soft costs savings that we project, things that had not been spent in the 3011 budget. It's not all good things in our favor. There were a few things we'll talk later about the moving services, some things, when we projected the budget and came to the project scope and budget agreement several years back. We did exceed a couple of those, but overall we're in great shape.
Ben, do you want to speak to exposures now, or do you want to do that when we get to it, maybe as part of Fontaine's?
Yeah, I think more, I don't want to tell your story without, let's hold off a little bit if you don't mind, tell high level and then we can get into it. That's cool.
Ben, does this reflect the turf for the stadium out yet? It is still in here. Okay. So we have 3.5, almost 6 million minus that.
This does include for change order 7 for Fontaine and assuming that amendment 7 for. So yeah, but
just based on the budget so far, no red flags, and based on the reimbursement from the state, still good.
So all of that is holding to your guys' project funding agreement, and it's a monthly process. We appreciate and your support in all of that. The district's been great about each month we've submitted. I think there's one month where maybe we missed it for whatever reason, but the audits are happening rapidly. I know, Pam, you get the email when it comes through. If there's any detail as to why something was ineligible, there hasn't been anything that has shocked us so far. Everything that's, that makes sense. That's part of the exclusion for whatever reason, if it's above the construction reimbursement cap or FF&E or whatever that may be, we know when we get capped for that and then we don't receive that. So in terms of like how we expect this, cash flow to come back into the town, it makes sense for that. We'll start to taper off a tiny bit more as we build out the rest of the construction contract because we've already hit a lot of those caps, but it's in good shape. I don't want to say there's no red flags or anything. There's certainly, I would say once, we get through there's always red flags, but once we get through this summer, the demo of the existing building, always within the site, there's some exposure there. So I would say we're sleeping a little better right now, but ultimately, until we turn this thing over, I think there's always a inherent risk.
And then back to the stadium turf, which one do you anticipate taking those funds from? Have we thought that through yet?
Well, I mean, they're effectively fungible.
It's all essentially the same. Just on Harrison, how
Okay. I didn't know if we had control completely over all of them or Fontaine.
Well, I mean, contractually, Fontaine controls theirs.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the biggest.
Yeah, Danielle's pretty generous.
Fontaine controls it for the benefit of the town.
Right.
So if there's money there and it should be spent,
Yep.
then
It's your money.
it's your money.
We're still comfortable it's there than the turf money. Okay, great.
You're on solid footing.
Yeah, so we can talk group exposure a little later, but I'll just get into kind of our process with it is, we're aware there are things out there looming. We have been working with Fontaine to nail down kind of what that is at this point. So in projecting that out and then looking at how the GMP was established and the certain, allowances and holds that were built in there. And beyond that, bid savings and ultimately luck, Greg, in terms of how we got there. But I would say it's
Skillful management.
yeah, we'll take whatever we can get, Steve. But it's a good picture. We've done our not our best, but we continue to look at, what are the risks that are out there. So yeah, I'm rambling now, but pretty good.
Well, I just want to add to what Ben was saying. So as Frank so graciously reminded me the other day, we had actually set up I'm going to call it a larger scale change order review squad, which was Gordon and Frank and Ryan and myself. And what we are planning to do is to take all of these, and for lack of a better word, I'm going to call them wish list, right? Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be, isn't this the right time to do this, whatever this may be? And then, do some analysis around it and put some hard numbers to things and then make a recommendation to this committee. We think we should go do this. And the turf, just because we've talked about it for so long, I mean, that's kind of a foregone conclusion. But, one of the things that's going to get talked about today is potentially adding lights to baseball and softball, right? Or perhaps adding, projection mapping to the gymnasium or, a variety of things. And then it'll just be, look, here's this thing we could do. Here's what we perceive as a benefit. Here's what it's going to cost. These are almost entirely things that are not going to have any impact on opening the building, right? These are all effectively day 2 items. Might be a couple of furniture things that fall into, but we'll just buy it now. If it shows up in 25 weeks, then great. It shows up in 25 weeks. But we're not sitting here right now. We would not want to do anything that could impede the progress in the field. Because I think we all understand that, we're 90 some odd days out from a TCO, and that's 90 days, right? Every day matters. These guys are going to be working 7 days fairly soon. So we don't want to put anything in their way. If anything, we want to take things out of their way. So if there's anything that we do want to do, we need to figure out a way to do it after we open the building. Thank you.
Any questions budget wise? All right. On to next slide, please. All right, so the move proposals. So for the summer move, some unfortunate news to share, but hopefully we have a path forward here. So for some context for the group, we put out an RFP for the summer move, and we had a mandatory walkthrough for which 4 bidders showed up. And it was the same folks who were at the spring walkthrough. We're hopeful to get more. We're hopeful that everybody who was, there at the spring walkthrough would show up. And everybody who didn't propose on the spring walkthrough and was at that mandatory walkthrough, we assumed was there because they were interested in our project for the summer. So optimistic as we were, as you can see, we only ended up getting 2 proposals in the long run. Interestingly enough, as we're walking through several of the SBC members and Fontaine on the walkthrough, it was obvious that, one of the bidders openly just left the walkthrough because he felt as though he couldn't be competitive. His words were he couldn't be competitive with the local guy, whoever he presumed that to be. We think that's Pioneer, but it was, it was interesting to see that, and then we weren't sure what we were going to get for bids, and we were hopeful for the remainder of the 3. We got the 2, and then about worst case scenario happened because we got a much lower price for VIP movers. So on the walkthrough, the representative from VIP movers halted the walkthrough. If I'm being too extreme, Gordon, please correct me. And took about 5 to 10 minutes to really challenge the RFP and the schedule that we had put in front of the proposers. Said it was unrealistic, had mentioned comparable projects for which he was afforded, however many, 9-10 days, whatever it was, much longer than what we had available for this schedule. We did discuss at that time the early release days being available, but this gentleman did not change his tune. He said even with that, he kind of scoffed at it. So anyways, in hearing that, we assumed that meant, if we did get a proposal, it would be sky high. As you can see, we did not get that. We got for the base bid, and again, we can go through all the different alternates, but we'll just go total not to exceed value. So this is their total price. So 50,000 versus 115,000, as you can see, less than half. If you continue to look through crew size, 14 versus 25, duration 9 hours versus 12 hours. So this is obviously incredibly concerning to us, given that this bidder came in and said, we can't do this in the 3 days that you had available. So the full day on the 18th, and then the early release days on the previous 2 days. That was,
Does everybody know that we did that? I don't know if Kathy.
I'm sorry, is that?
So we went half days, the final week of school
Okay.
for just the high school to help give the staff time.
They're
For
pretty much on an exam schedule anyway. Aren't they?
Yeah.
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 That's-
And so,
I'm
just so you're aware.
Yeah, so that'll help staff kind of pack up the remainder of the contents at that point. We're hoping not much, and it also gives the mover the opportunity to get it a little earlier to take whatever is available and start to take some of the things out of the library that's going to be cumbersome. So that will, hopefully free us up on the 18th. So we're done, out of your guys' way, ready to turn it over. So anyways, our big concern obviously is, hey, you told us one thing and then this says something completely different. It's also just unrealistic, we think, per the scope of the RFP to, I don't want to say they're lowballing, but I don't know what other, we're not sure what is at play here. We just don't think it is a legitimate proposal. Our recommendation to the town was to reject VIP movers on grounds of this is a mass MGL Chapter 30B procurement. Ultimately, the requirement is lowest responsive and responsible bidder. I did reach out to the Office of the Inspector General, who, they provide guidance on these kind of matters. They'll never give you like a full-blown recommendation, stamp it. But the representative I spoke with said that, the awarding authority is always within their right to select, as long as the RFP states that, and we made sure that that is the case, that the town reserves the right to essentially choose who they want for the best interests of the town. And that's ultimately what we're going for. So anyways, there's a lot of other holes we saw with the proposal from VIP, but I don't need to inundate you with that today. And we don't think that carries as much weight as it does. I think that the town can as long as the town agrees, I guess, it would be our recommendation to reject VIP and move forward with Pioneer on the basis of they are not responsible.
Is that the bad news?
The bad news was that I told you guys 8 proposals or maybe even 10. I was coming in, parading around. We had a lot of interest from the spring walkthrough, and I thought that meant for the summer walkthrough. As it played out, it made sense as to why some of them were not. They saw that Pioneer won. Pioneer's working in the town, right? And Pioneer, I think, has been doing a great job. That doesn't. We're going to procure this openly, obviously, anyways. But I think that does something to the field. So I assume that some of those ones who showed up, especially like 5 college movers, showed up to the spring walkthrough, but then didn't throw us a proposal for the spring walkthrough. I mean, why would you do that if you didn't have some, angle there? So, anyways, yeah, that was I guess a bad estimation on our behalf. But yeah, no, the ultimate bad news is that we just got a kind of what we consider a junky proposal.
So Ben, Pioneer won the spring move and has done the spring move already. In terms of their proposal for the spring move, was their crew size and their duration close to what they said it would be?
So you did the leveling exercise, but this is where we didn't want to pull in, and this is just because you asked that question. I didn't want to cloud in terms of what the determination was. And again, we're advisors. You want to be clear on why you were throwing out VIP versus why you would prefer, and
I'm asking to assess the amount of time because the duration and the crew size is significantly different. So if Pioneer has history with us and showing that they are reasonable,
right,
then we can make an assumption that VIP is not being reasonable. That's why I'm asking.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the spring move, Pioneer said they would do it 8.5 hours. And I think they end up coming in around just under 8 hours.
We ended up, I think we were had some change in the PO, right? There was
Yeah, something small.
yeah, so then they've been good to work with, so I suspect they
It
will
was a
be.
very smooth transition.
Yeah. So
Being
again,
watched
they
all
they
the-
clearly understood the scope of the RFP. They confirmed, hey, we can do it. It is challenging. I think everybody that was in the room that day said, yeah, this is really difficult to do. And we ultimately said, well, we have to do it. So let your price reflect that. And I think that everybody took a look at it, and I think that Pioneer did the best job ultimately with what we received. But I think they did a good job beyond that, just trying to understand our project
And what was the cost of the spring move?
So that was the one, and this is also another hang up, and I think we talked to you about it, the RFP, and this is definitely on our end. We built RFP together, but we got too cute, I think, with the alternates, and we ended up excluding the move of the stuff back to the school. So we do need to put that on to we'll talk with Brian. I presume that this is something small enough that we don't need to go out and publicly do anything with this. But that was a miss in terms of the scope of the RFP. You can see what we tried to do, but it was tied up in an alternate. That should have been base scope, and it should have been clear that needed to go over to the school. So we will need to
add that to this.
Yeah.
I would add it to the spring one, and let's talk with Brian about that. That will be, I think, minimal enough where that's not in it, but we can deal with that regardless. That was an issue, an error in the RFP. I can see how he read it that way. I think that would be in his favor. And again, he's been more than fair. I think even with that, it was what, 13,000 for that, for the whole, so
Yeah.
he was much lower than the other ones. I think that's the play.
We have a projected cost of that change.
I haven't talked with him yet, but I will do so right tomorrow.
Is everything going back, or do you just want dumpsters?
We do need to talk about
that.
Yeah, no, that's
no matter what, you're gonna need to get rid of some stuff,
Well,
right?
that's all the boxes. We have a lot of boxes. That whole back end of the office is coming back, but all their furniture. We need 2 big dumpsters.
That's the question.
Can you drop them at Carter-Monday?
A few things, but it's just, I'm asking, are you really gonna buy it to come back? What are you doing with it? Bring it back?
More than half has to come back.
So that's
that's
what
what you need to know. before you
I'm
go.
gonna try to, at the end of this, I'm gonna try to recommend that we land a move management subcommittee meeting, because I think we've got a lot to talk about over the next couple of weeks, this auction, all that stuff. So let's talk through that. I think we can come up with the best, most cost
I
efficient.
would say this is good. This has to come back, and that's what they look at.
No, I'm glad you brought that up.
All
The
those,
furniture should not come back.
we don't have much furniture.
All this stuff. Oh, yeah, I guess
We,
you're right.
we really don't
You're
have.
right.
The filing
I
cabinet.
have a couple
Yeah.
filing cabinets, all
As well.
in the filing cabinet.
That's moving.
The furniture is not, it's not.
No, they don't.
What did we decide on the
we don't-
filing cabinets? Are those moving physically, right? And then we'll get rid of them. So the filing cabinets are coming over, transferring, and then we're dumping them.
Carter Monday gave you guys furniture. I didn't know.
Yeah. We brought chairs,
Oh, that's great.
a couple tables. Yeah, it's a great deal.
So just to put a bow on this, Tom, I did send you an email just putting this all in writing in terms of what we think on it. We'd appreciate some feedback from town council. Ultimately, we're the advisor, you guys are the awarding authority. We will make the, determination and move on and notify the bidders in such fashion if you guys are cool with it. That a vote is needed or what have you, just looking for guidance on our next.
It's in the queue.
You want to pick the mover, right?
So I do want to say in terms of we had reached out to the 2 movers to let them know that we would be reaching out early next week to let them know who was chosen. And we want to get them on board sooner rather than later. I know we keep getting as though it's a bad thing, rightfully so, but we're getting notifications or emails from the staff asking kind of when the boxes are, when the rest of that puzzle is being put together in terms of the move. So I think bringing on Brian is important for next week. If we could land a meeting next week with the move management subcommittee, just to walk through, okay, what are we instructing the staff to do? Is there anything, all of that good stuff. So.
But you want to vote for that today for the.
I just need,
We need a vote. I think that's your best.
Yeah, that may be the best way to formalize it.
We need an opinion from legal counsel.
In terms of not objecting one of.
Well, I mean, if we can vote, I suppose, with sort of a caveat that contingent on legal review.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Yes.
But I don't know that everybody should know what they're voting on, and the lawyer could say no.
Right, and that was In talking with the OIG representative, she had recommended, exactly that no matter what, and she said, gave us the assurance that we wanted, but said no matter what, we recommend that the district check with their council. And
So should we do that first and vote the next meeting?
so that, I think that makes sense.
Well, it's too late. He's looking for. He wants next.
So, I mean,
Contingent.
I don't know that it needs a
Did we-
formal vote.
Did we vote on the last one?
I think we did.
It's not, no.
We're spending $100,000, Ben. We gotta vote on it.
You can make a motion with a contingency
Right, yeah.
Best match.
upon review.
I'd hate to pull you all in just for,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Just do it pending legal review from town council.
So I move that we award the final move to Pioneer Movers. The bid presented, subject to approval of the town's attorney.
Second.
Who got the second?
Ryan got it.
Just put that in the template.
Just, yeah.
Only at Daisy's absence.
Right, why's nobody seconding anything?
Additional discussion?
if did this, sorry. Separate.
Mr. Crucial?
Yes.
Yes. Ms. Blair?
Yes.
Mr. Page?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Hill?
Yes.
Ms. Margin Boucher?
Yes.
Mr. Fanning?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Christensen?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
And Mr. Quimby?
Yes.
Let's have it.
Anything else, Ben?
We're just gonna mention, we didn't do up a slide for it, but there's been a little bit of a development in the auction as well. So we had been trying to use Auctions International to organize the online auction. Things went well. We had them out on site January, February, something like that. Told us everything we needed to hear, was helpful, and then went completely radio silent on us. Had Tom put together a contract and we didn't hear anything after that. We heard from him on the phone. This is after, can't tell you how many emails and phone calls and all of that. Kept hearing the same story from this gentleman. Oh, yep, we're gonna get you into the schedule. I just, doing another one and all. So several weeks ago, we put in a contingency plan in place, and looked into alternatives because it was apparent that, this Auctions International could not meet the needs of our online auction services. So we did terminate Auctions International because technically we signed a contract. Tom, apologies for having you do that, but it all seemed promising. Scanscape,
When I write letters, you read them.
yeah, exactly. Scanscape's used them past projects, and we haven't had that issue. So apologies, but yeah, we won't be using them at least on my projects going forward. But thankfully, we did look into Municipid, and Alex looked into the specifics of it, and Pam actually ended up having an account. And I think you guys worked out in terms of what accessibility you need there. So thank you very much for doing that. I think this is honestly I think we should go this route every time because it's much easier and less headaches. So also thank you, Pam, for putting in the advertisement. So
Tomorrow, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Thursday.
yeah, and then so again, we'll talk about this in terms of what we want to put into the terms of sale and how we organize the actual auction, but that can be saved for the move.
Did you set a pickup date for auction winners?
So we want to talk about that. We talked about the 4-hour window, right? Between on the 17th, because we want to keep them away. But yeah, we can. My goal would be basically to get everything done on the 17th. So I think the 4-hour window is appropriate. But my only question would be if for some reason we notice that, and then we're gonna have a little time. We're having the auction the Memorial Day. We're opening it up and for the full week. So we'll have some time to understand what it is that needs to get out of the doors. So I think we'll be able to coordinate that best. But yeah, we should put in there in terms of when 12 to 4, all of that good stuff will go in. I don't know that we want to talk about specific like egress, all that. I think whoever's on site. our management team will-
Yeah, you look at your half days, depending on what it is, a couple days before.
That's what the 17th is.
Well, but
If we
no,
talked-
you didn't.
no, so we talked with,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right?
we had a meeting about this and we did ask about that, but it turns out that most of the stuff that we think would get
Issues being.
purchased is being used. The desks, the cafeteria, the kitchen equipment is needed until the last day, so we tried to get fancy about it.
Catch up with Lori, Paul.
Yes.
We're all set with it.
And I've not heard back from Chris, Monday yet.
Still?
Cafeteria table.
Oh, the tables.
Yeah,
That's interesting. He was.
You don't know how many? Is that what you're trying to find out?
yeah. He was only looking for a couple,
Yeah.
but he did.
I'm talking the equipment though.
Yes, I.
Okay.
Is he gonna knock something off the rent or what?
I know, right? I did ask him for a table. Gonna be a wash.
Are any of the better stuff going to the other schools? Have they done that?
Yeah, trying to, yeah.
In the library. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
You can probably know it too. The camps might need some of that too, right?
They near
Again,
have
with
some things open. That'll-
Again, the pool.
We get in the pool.
You used to remove that. Put it up there.
Yes.
No, rec is coming and they're gonna go through the pool equipment
Okay.
and anything they get salvaged for
Yeah.
Pine Knoll, they're gonna do that.
Right, because some of the cafeteria tables and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
from one of my last projects, I brought some over, they were getting rid of.
I know.
And gave them, I know, just they were just getting thrown away, so. I knew that. They weren't too good, those picnic tables up there, so.
Hmm.
It's something, the campers,
The indoor cafeteria tables would survive, but outdoors would they? I suppose.
but they were inside, they were the inside
Oh,
ones.
they're
'cause they
underneath
they
the,
were underneath.
yeah.
In the pavilion.
That's very nice. You have sat in those.
That, there you go. From one of the Worcester schools, I think.
Oh, lovely.
Anything else, bud?
That was it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Brooks.
So we'll keep ours fairly tight today. Just a general overview before we get to that screen. It's just that we are we've increased the JWA presence on site to twice a week now so that we can work closely with Fontaine to respond to things as quickly as we can. We're now entering that phase of the project where we have to work really closely to have engineers inspect whenever we're closing work up and do their punch list, be ready to do affidavits. So we've been starting to talk about that process, and that's why there's a lot more presence, I think, regularly from the team as necessary to respond as quickly as we can, because we know it's all going to accelerate at this point. But generally, from our standpoint, things are going very well. The process you'll see, and I'm going to go through this change order 7 just to talk a little bit about the financial side of what's been coming up and what we're dealing with. But as a whole, I agree. The whole process is moving smoothly, and we don't have any buried, unexpected things ahead of us that haven't already surfaced. We're not holding or hiding anything from you. Things are going as expected, and that's what we want to see at this point. Next slide. I did want to say that what you hear, and I'm so grateful to Skanska for dealing with the move issues, because it's not what we do. And it's quite a challenge, as you can see. But there is an overlap that, as what happened recently, obviously, is you start telling the teachers they need to pack their belongings and figure out what they're bringing over, and that brings a different level of reality to the experience of going into a school, which leads to some ripple effects for us in that if there is a healthy budget in place, that can lead to a decision to make additional purchases. So on the FF&E side, there was a decision to add 62 additional desks and chairs. That adds 2 per classroom. The reasoning being that the design standard is 24 per room. Means that the school is adequately served by the furniture that was already under order. If there's adequate budget to put more there, then it means you're not going to have to move chairs and tables around as much, and desks around. And when your philosophies around how you're going to dedicate those rooms shifts, and you don't know for sure what your enrollment might be per room, it's easier to have that extra flex. So this could become attic stock if it's not needed in rooms, but it's more likely it's going to be dispersed because of the enrollment numbers per room based on operational decisions that are being made. So that was picked up. That's going to be a fairly large number, but we added to Stafura's time with us to set up a piece PO for that and execute it as quickly as possible. Our hope is to get that here with the rest of the furniture. So we are kind of moving on that. We're not moving on it. It's part of the amendment for reimbursable services to have that go forward. That also included a couple more filing cabinets, bulletin boards, and utility carts for culinary. I think Ben referenced the reality that in a move that's this consequential from a school that started in 73 to today, there's also possibility that as moving happens, there are things that show up that people, now realize they absolutely have to have, or we decide we need more extra filing cabinets. So there's some things that may not get resolved until the end. So we have to be prepared for that possibility. The other thing that we've been reporting on in these meetings is the signage, all those unique elements of signage. Everything is buttoned up now, except for the pool records board. We got we switched our effort there to Go Graphics, local firm. They've been great to work with. They offered 3 possibilities. We vetted those possibilities and actually went to them and said, we want this from each possibility to combine. So we're waiting for one more version of that back. And that's really the last piece of the signage package that we haven't released yet for production. We have a little bit of vinyl graphics in hand as well, but really all the specific physical signs have been released. So we're in good shape there.
Victoria, remind me, is that 2 different record boards or is it one board that captures both?
It's one board that captures both.
Frank, is the existing record board still up in the pool, And is it our responsibility to take it down? Because we promised it to families.
We did document all the content.
Right, but the actual named placards,
Some of those have already been distributed.
Okay.
At the end of swim season, some of the coaches.
but we have the rest,
They should be in there, I gotta be honest, I've been in the pool since we graded it.
but they might be up still.
They could eventually be.
Okay.
I'm honestly not sure.
We're not gonna throw them away.
Let's take it out.
Okay.
Preserve it with Frachero away.
What's that?
Preserve it with Frachero away.
Yeah. I gotta find Wayne sign. I'm gonna just take it out.
And go to the
In
next slide.
trouble.
Yeah.
Just want to see his face. That's all I want. Just a reaction.
So this is everything that's been compiled into change order 7. And I think that, we're really at that peak point in the process. And it reflects that well, I think the kind of things that you typically see here. So to go over these, 15R2 is the final cost associated with the pump room changes. That was all the finish elements. 21R2 is an owner request that we flipped 2 classrooms that were stacked on top of each other in order to put a more appropriate classroom on the first floor than the second floor. It's a very expensive change.
Why is it so expensive?
Because there's a lot of casework and a lot of infrastructure, and we can't say we'll leave some of that there and some here because it's a special education space, both of which go through DESE for review. So the only way we could do it is we did a full complete switch. We could not pick and choose what we kept here or there.
Classroom with the identified safe space was on the second floor. We did not feel like that was appropriate, so we moved that to the first floor. So if we have students who are dysregulated in a different part of the building, instead of having to get them upstairs, we can just get them directly to that space. So moving that safe space from the second floor to the first floor kind of reconstructed layouts. So it wasn't just kind of like a swap names.
Right. Okay. See, yeah.
Makes
Makes
sense.
sense.
Purposeful, and I know it's a lot of money, but in reality, those are the kinds of things that you really have to prioritize. So,
Sure.
PCO 36 is also part of our review process, has been looking at all the bathrooms and specifically signage and locks and systems associated with that. And there's a request to just shift some specific doorways so that they're slightly different and a little bit more corridor facing rather than to the bathroom area. So that's a small change there. 38 was it began as a request to have an exterior mounted AED, which we on towards the field side, which we hadn't thought. So we went to purchase that and then also decided that we would purchase 2 more additionally on the interior to spread them a little bit more through the school.
Are you saying we're only gonna have one AED outside?
Oh, well, no, there's one over, I believe, at Concessions. This is one, or if it's builder, one to the other field side.
The far, the
That's where.
west side. Okay.
The site is too spread and
Yep.
it's senior board.
Good.
So it used to be one on the outside of the annex.
Right.
Yeah, we moved that over to.
How does it work when they're exterior?
We-
They're insecure boxes.
So it's like a camera break glass.
Yeah, similar. Yeah.
You don't have to break any glass. You just open the door.
Yeah, you just have to open it, but we have cameras on it in case they are, say vandalized. So, and I assume the new building will have cameras on them as well.
PCO 41 is an outstanding devised grading around a detention structure. The detention structure was put in, but this is also near some of the shot put discus area. And once it was in, it was evident that if we smoothed it out, did a little bit more regrading, it would make it advantageous to the performance as an athletics based. We added in a required 4-inch limiter at the windows that was missed in the drawings and the specifications technically, that keeps the windows from going beyond a certain point. That's a code requirement.
It's 4 inches, that's the code.
An extension of fiber to the MDF room and concession building. Fiber costs are, kind of just keep finding more places to put fiber in these projects. Change the supply air valve coils based on a revision and the schedules, and that really just has to do with once you're purchasing the right equipment and getting everything sorted out and scaled, there are often some changes, and that's a relatively small change. We added blocking to the gym walls to support the reinstallation of all the banners and flags and sort of laid that out. And we'll see images that don't show that, and I'll talk about it when we get there but this is Fontaine getting that blocking in behind the wall so that, any long-term pretty much plan of any banner is pretty much accommodated in the gym now. Working with Ryan's been great. Ryan's been really tight on the intercom and vape detection systems. And there was a re-examination of the Axis intercom system. It was meant to be coordinated into the proprietary system. So there's some revision there that brought about a change. And then also the decision with the vape detector that had been specified as one make and model. The systems for security Axis did not have a vape detection system. Now they do. Their system integrates with the rest of the systems in a way that the other system did not. And given what everybody in the industry is hearing about vape detection, it felt like a much better decision to upgrade that to be sure that it integrated so that the alarm communications all work the same way. So that's the nature of this, and I can't read the total.
And those
number.
are every bathroom.
But not exactly. We pulled a couple from some locations, but quite extensively. Yeah.
110.
Thank you.
210, 32.
At 30 cents.
30 cents.
Any questions on any of those?
Do we get credits on the card readers or the video stations?
We did some of those. We actually just got something recently on the printer. Yeah. So those haven't processed through necessarily into a change order. And again, you'll see, I think we're in this range where we do have these types of change orders throughout. We're quite heavily in PCO season of going back and forth, but they're of this nature generally. There's sometimes owner requests, which we don't want to say no to, of things that are going to improve a system. We have UPSs that we're upgrading, from our original documents, and other things that are really, patches. We're definitely, time is impacting the project, and there are times where something it's easier to make a small financial change to get something where it needs to be, rather than stop and slow things down further. So we'll sometimes do
The
that.
bottom line is to get it right.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
so
So
this is the nature of what we're doing.
I move that we approve the change order number 7 in the amount of $210,432.30 as presented.
Second.
He beat you. He beat you like way.
That was laying it away.
Well done.
We discussed that.
Okay, roll call vote. Mr. Crucial.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Ms. Blair.
Yes.
Mr. Page.
Yes.
Ms. Brown.
Yes.
Ms. Hill.
Yes.
Ms. Martin Boucher.
Yes.
Mr. Fenny.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Christensen.
Yep.
Ms. Collins.
Yes.
And Mr. Quimby.
Yes.
Put a second in just, for old time's sake.
No, Steve can do it.
That was my one. Thank you, Dorf. FBI, I think the floor is yours.
If we could just, right before you guys start, I don't mind teeing it off, you don't mind,
I'm sorry. Bob.
No worries. It's a little jumbled up on the screen here, but it's JWA's amendment number 7 up for approval today. So the total value of amendment number 7 is $75,740. You see the breakdown below there, and this again is for the turf replacement. So this is the design cost, $59,790. The athletic field sound system from Kavanaugh Tochi, $9,350, and then additional FF&E services from Stafura for $6,600. Dory, I don't know that we need to go into the details with any of it, but we can certainly field any questions at this point.
That's the total design cost from Gale.
Correct, for the turf field replacement.
And then the 9,350 for the sound system that's installed.
No, that's.
This is all just design, so
That'd be addition- Oh, that's just the design.
yeah, so this will amend Jones Swift's contract by this amount so that the consultants can do their scope of work.
And that'll be an additional change order later. The actual system.
Yeah, they'll give us the design of this stuff for and everything.
And we have already met with Kevin and talked about that, got his input generally speaking, but this allows CT to put together the documents and the changes so that we can get them to funding.
Was this a miss or just a new thing?
It was never in our scope. It had never come up in any meetings that there was a desire to replace that system. So that was the general nature of it. So we would have, had we brought it up then, we would have had the same scope of contract, right? So it's one of those situations.
With, sorry, both of those first two, is there a projected cost of what that replacement would be and then what that sound system would be? Just so moving forward that piece, just so we have an idea of what we might be spending on the next piece.
We don't know until we get a proposal, right?
Yeah.
Right, I mean, we're over $1 million on the turf.
Right.
And there are things that are gonna come up in the design process that'll tweak that number. The field sound system isn't gonna be much based on the conversation with Kevin, but I unfortunately don't think I have a number, right, as to what that is.
Yeah, I just asked because we're
Talking about.
yeah, we're putting up $70,000 to spend an additional sum next is so.
Well, if
Yeah.
if it's in the budget.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
yes.
Kevin,
Am I missing?
well, we're anticipating a big chunk will be in the budget for the turf. And
Again, I should have walked it back a little here. So amendments to Jones Witz's contract, although required, we already have within the budget under reimbursable services an allotment of, I think it was 1.25 million, something like that, around that number. I think we're tracking at around 800 Dory,
Yeah, we're.
800,000 in terms of what has been approved. So that's just kind of ballpark just to let you know, but that's already built into the budget. So you're not approving any more out of a contingency or anything for this, for the sake of this amendment.
Line item.
This will give the design team the ability to do their scope, their work, so that this can go into Fontaine's court and then price up a change.
so
Yeah.
Kevin had other things he was thinking of adding when we do the turf project. So you have
Which I am aware of. I
Okay.
mean, in terms of the timer table, you're talking.
it's electrical issues. I think
Yeah.
that's in.
And that's what my point about how, once we have Gail, admittedly, I did tell Gail that we weren't gonna do anything crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
hoping we're not gonna try and do anything crazy,
But we should do it right, though.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but when we do
Crazy
that,
is a
so
good
this
idea.
includes testing as well. So just so you understand, this will include them opening up, testing the materials for the capability. Till they do that, the subgrade, what's replaced, we don't know for sure. It will also include meeting with with Kevin primarily, but to talk about what other things are needed, and there will be some tweaks. We're talking about bringing conduit to a different location. That'll be in the drawings as well.
It will be
Yeah.
as an alternate or as a, I mean, how do we do that? How does that work?
Gail will include that. That's not I mean, it's an important thing to include and it will show up in the cost, but it's not something that we wouldn't want to put
Okay.
as a direct.
I believe the conduit is there.
It's
Conduit.
not relocated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the conduit's there. Bruce actually would know.
Well, it's probably in the wrong place.
The conduit goes underneath the track
Underneath
and
the
then it's
track.
at the far ends of the field. The thought was that you would want to then bring it towards the center.
50 line, so we could probably, when you open the turf up, we could trench from where the box is now to center field and then put it, if that's where they want it. But that could all be, that's part of Gale's.
So protective netting,
Right.
all
Well,
lines.
this conduit is never-
Or you have some of it.
He wants protective netting, at least at one end. All lines should be permanent, turf lines,
Yeah, that thing.
shorten the soccer field
Yeah.
and
either-
finalize the electrical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fold all this, Gail deals with all this.
Right.
This last and say, okay, give me a number.
Just so they have. These were Kevin's thoughts.
And in terms of that reimbursable budget, to the, Ben was mentioning, yeah, we had a 1.2 budget. We've used, only 800 of that, so there's still some help there as well. If there's a need for Staffer to do another order, we need to bring them back, we'll be doing that. So that's good news as well. We haven't expended that.
So that is amendment number 7 for Jones Witz Architects and SMMA.
You need approval, vote for that. I think we should. I moved, we, feel like I'm feeling bad. I move that we approve the Jones Witz amendment 7 in the amount of $75,740 as presented.
Back
That's
in
right.
his, back in his realm.
Back to equilibrium.
All is right.
All right. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Shall. Mr. Crucial.
Yes, please.
I'm a yes. Ms. Blair.
Yes.
Mr. Page. Yes. Ms. Brown.
Yes.
Ms. Hill.
Yes.
Ms. Martian Voucher.
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Fenny.
Yes.
Yes.
Um,
Mr. Thompson.
yes, the
Mr. Christensen.
Yes.
it's for football.
Ms. Collins.
Yes.
And Mr. Quimby.
Yes.
This is how I want to get more. Manufacturing. So you'll show it. And then still leave it lengthwise.
Going further into who's this?
The quarter into.
Yeah, we did it, business.
No, we're actually we're in new business, I guess.
No, we gotta do Fontaine.
Oh, Fontaine, sorry.
Skip.
Ben's got us going all in order.
I don't know why we.
Why is
I
there?
don't know what there is others for size, Jamie, but so if you look here, you can see that the district office is why we're here is no longer. We're working our way through there. We actually start a detention area in that area shortly, so we're gonna get that parking lot going and pull some conduits off from the building and kind of looking ourselves towards the field.
Has nothing to do with student detention.
Nothing to do with it. It's all good.
Case our viewers for mistaken.
Yeah, no, all good. So, yeah, so we'll look at that. And next thing we'll be doing is heading out towards the green space. We'll have that conversation, in a little bit when we get rid of in spring sports. Then we kind of look at what we're going to do out towards the fields and bringing conduits out there. The next goal in that area that you see there, just you see to the left is the fields we're prepping. Irrigation is just about done and the water, lines go on to the backside towards Norton Street. That's where the water pit will be done and we'll turn the water on. The goal would be by, into June, that's like first, second week in June, actually looking at the waters be live and starting laying sod and then get it ready for fall. And the goal is there the back fences in, we have the pavement in the backside's all done. We're looking at, you can't see the science terrace. I know some of the other drone footings on the outside, the courts, the interior of the science I'm sorry, in the E courtyard, the Arts Terrace is pretty much pushed all the way to the west. Stone bench, the benches are set now, we're pouring concrete in that area. And then to the south side, the Science Terrace, plus the C-spine terraces are up, the trellises are up, concrete's poured in that area. We'll actually start doing some landscaping and planting by the end of the month and into June. And get that area going in that area. It's kind of make that all green space. Working our way around on the east side of the building, the loading dock has been poured. We'll be looking at bringing kitchen equipment next week, getting the kitchen ready to go in there. And then we'll actually look on starting the loading dock, doing trench draining and pulling that pavement out to kind of tie into it by the field in that area there. All the brick is now laid in the building and washed. Interior in the pool is also all done also. So we're kind of cleaning up, moving the mason. I don't know if we have an overview or another, Jamie. We're working on it. Actually, no, it's interior. You can go back for a minute. So just, yeah, let's stay there. So over in the area where you can't see now, basketball court, we actually prepped that. All the mason stuff is pretty much all gone out of there. If you drive through that loop, you'll see that area actually compacting that area now. We'll be looking at shortly setting basketball hoops and then doing the binder, and then we'll look at fence posts on top. Of course, we can get that done the next couple months to kind of clean that area up there, where we're doing sidewalk and tying all that together, kind of bringing the outside together. And then the inside, let Jamie go next. And the inside, pretty much D&E. Kind of look like this. All the floors are done, ceilings are closed. We're at that point now. We're doing our below ceiling punch list, so we're making sure the trades have all our. If there's dings or something on the walls, we're patching walls. Final coat of paint will actually start in another week or so, and then we'll do them baseboard, and then we're ready for rooms to actually turn over to JWA to actually do their punch list. So we're going to clean those out. Doors are on site. We're starting to swing the metal doors. Wood doors will be right behind that. You can kind of keep flipping, Jimmy. So you can see this is a typical science room. This is one of the rooms we're actually closing up now. But you guys have mostly been to the building and see where that is. All these rooms are pretty much all set in the academic wing. We're actually in the corridors of academic wing, putting down flooring now. As you work your way through, you can see the corridors going through there. Lights are on. Permanent power pretty much in D&E are on 100%. Temp power is pulled out. And then the auditorium, the staging is down. So the last time you were there. So now we're actually in there now, putting up the pivot wall supports is going in today, and we'll actually start framing the small lower walls and putting the rest of this auditorium together. So there's the ceiling that we had the staging up there before to kind of put this together. It kind of comes to life now when you look at this. Seats we have procured, they're ready to come in there, but right now we're working on low walls and kind of clean this up and start the plywood in the wall, and the panels will go on the wall shortly before we go there. And keep going, Jamie. So this is a typical corridor. Those are display cases in the A corridor. Kind of in the wall, kind of protected. You can see the tile going in there, and very shortly we'll be starting to look at doing floor tile in those areas also. To the right there's the main corridor. That's okay, you're good. So you can see there that to the right hand side, the learning stair. We're actually doing the battens now. Those panels are coming shortly for the right hand side for the wood panels. To the left of the zigzag wall, we started the tile there, and then the wall panels, and then the panels above that. We'll actually hopefully start next week also with the fiber panels. We're getting those on the walls. We'll start painting those, getting the lifts out of there. The wood ceiling in the middle is now going between the C-spine north and C-spine south. The wood ceiling went up in there. The next couple is going up there now. You can see on the south side of the C-spine, the lights are up, lights are on. We're kind of working our way through there, all painted and ready to go. And we're actually looking at ceilings in those top and bottom corridors. Gymnasium, gym equipment's on site. We're painted out. We're just about done the chases. You can see the chases going, the entrance is going out on the north side. There's the 4 chases in the gym. We're just about complete. And then we'll be looking at hanging equipment, and then floor will be starting sometime by the end of the month, more likely in the beginning of June, starting the actual floor in the gym as we're working our way through that areas. This is the media center. So farther along than this right now. We're actually ready to start painting that shortly. We're trying to finish up the few chases. We have the top of the learning stair. You can see it's still open. The overhead doors are installed. We're going to work on soffits there in the next few days. We're going to close that up, and we're looking at painting and getting ceilings going there in the next few weeks. Lifts will be off the site. We'll be closing up that second floor loading zone, kind of working our way through there. So kind of bringing the flooring and everything down there.
Those overhead doors automatic.
Automatic key switch. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can't let so it's a key to hold. Kids kind of playing with it, right? So yeah, so that's just to be set down when you're having. I'm assuming when you're having some type of event downstairs, the gym or the auditorium will be shut. And that's so people can't get into the building. So that's kind of where that is there. So all in all, there's hands and feet in every corner of this building and site. As you can see, it's a constant work with our team, just getting these guys and girls in the right locations, trying to do the outside at the same time as the inside. This is the inside of the pool. That staging is actually down. The duct chases are done, washed and cleaned, and actually the duct work is about 80% done in that area there. Fire sprinklers are starting out on the we'll call it the east side. Those windows are actually going in now too. If you drive by, you'll see those going in also as we kind of clean up in there. And then the next step is kind of painting will be in there next week, cleaning all mechanical, we'll start mechanical rooms, get distribution going electrically. And then when the building's all dried out, we'll kind of clean it up and then we'll start with the trades and the pool coming in. And actually the plumber's actually coming out of the walls now. So we're kind of working our way through there. The roof is all 100% on there.
Anticipated finish time for the pool the same as the.
So we're working hard on that, Greg. It's the schedule is very tough. As you all know, yeah, but no, I know I'm not hiding anything. We are working diligently. We got, we have different trades in there also, different companies, because it's two different projects. So we're kind of pushing both sides of that. The roof is on 100%. The curbs are getting here. The unit for the units for the pool roof will be setting shortly. Distribution power is huge in there, which will start that in another week or so. Getting that all tied and making that building live goes a long way. So we're all kind of working on that.
Mainline coming, June, mainline coming back in June.
Mainline's coming back. I'm gonna get back there earlier, but they'll be definitely do it by June, hopefully before the end of the month is the goal. Clean this out. Mason's out of here. We clean this out. Painter comes next week and we get mainline the next couple of weeks and start that. And then we're working our way through that also. But in general, like I said, we're touching every corner of this building, no matter where you are, you'll see somebody doing
Everybody
something.
playing ball in terms of labor?
Excuse me?
Is everybody playing
To a
ball in
point.
terms of labor?
Yep, they do. Yep, they're still working 6 days this weekend. This week we're there 7, kind of taking care of the district offing and kind of that stuff there, and that'll keep happening.
You're getting the bodies you need.
I'm getting the bodies I need. I always want more, and some just won't work because they don't want to, and some won't work, 8 hours. So, 9 work 10. Tile guys, when we start all that, they'll be doing 6 to 7, 7 days, 6 days, at least 10, 12 hours a day to get the tile on the floors because that's kind of better when no one's around. And then, the painters, the ceiling guys keeping up, the finishes, electricians are still about 30 a day. So but they're falling right behind in all the ceilings. So all that's good stuff. And now the power's on, distribution's going, units are starting. We're starting balancing next week. So all that stuff is good. To kind of tie that in and kind of clean up the area. E is going, cleaned up and going. And like I said, we get that balance behind it. We'll jump to D while we're doing the floors. So it's all a process. So we keep the people going and, like I said, it's about 180 to 190 a day.
Balancing
I'd
90
like
days
250. Balancing, yep. You get to the balancing, then you look at flush out, right? And we look at all the other stuff that goes with it. So, yeah. I don't know if there's any more, Jay, but that's kind of it. That's what it looks like. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Mark, the fields that will be done for the opening in the back, is that 1 field or 2?
It's actually 2.5, we'll call it. There's two full fields and then the small, I guess they call it a practice field, but it gives green space to Frank and his team and everybody else.
So it'll be 2 usable.
It'll be 2 usable or soccer lacrosse, whatever they are. And then there's a side of a practice field. The back path is already paved for the carts. That'll be done. It'll go around towards Norton Street. We'll have Norton Street ready for the 6 or 8, 12 parking spaces, handicap parking spaces there.
Is that gonna be enough, Frank, in terms of
More than he started with. Let's go.
I know it's more than
Okay.
We're using others' fields. Are we gonna have enough? Do you know? Have you looked at that yet?
So how many fields?
2 more.
2 more. So you can go back to that. Yeah, there you go, Jamie. You already beat me. Look at you. So if you look there to the south side, yeah,
2 more than this fall.
yeah. There you go. So yeah, you'll have to practice on the side, and then you got the two other fields, the boys and girls lacrosse / soccer. And that's what you'll have. And then we'll continue to keep working our way around. JV softball, we work in that area. The problem now, of course, is we moved the cars to now it's the workers, right? We got to keep them here and keep them
This was a
coming here.
trade-off that we had discussed. This was a trade-off that we had discussed when
We took the
moved
baseball. We moved the baseball. Yeah, when we put the baseball field, this is your trade-off. You got rid of the field, and that gives you 3 fields for this fall, 2.5.
I guess, Greg, to answer your question, we had anticipated going into this fall with no fields but the turf. So giving me 3 fields is a huge versus what we anticipated. And that was a trade-off of giving up JV this spring so we could have fields coming this fall. Yep. So the answer is long and short, yeah, it's okay, great.
Mark, thank you for sending that picture of
Oh, you like that?
annex. Yes, it was bittersweet, I have to say. And I'm sure Linda felt the same way. Yeah, so thank you.
Clinging to the fence.
Yeah, something like that. I'm like, oh my gosh. But you mentioned Key, and that made me think. Gordon and I were actually on the phone today with Zoom with a Key guy. Just make sure the portal and everything, but my name's already in there. The company that the keys are in Westfield, they want to ship them. somewhere, but where? So I told them I would bring that up to you, and I have a meeting with him on Monday at 9. To tell him what address. It'll be about 6 weeks from now, he said.
67.
I mean, you could have,
Well,
yeah.
that's what I want.
I mean, we obviously, the keys have to go and we have to sit down with Frank and his distribution, because those are your real keys, right?
Yes.
We'll have construction keys. We'll get a couple of grand masters for us, just when we're closing up and locking up, and then we'll obviously give those back. But the question is to Frank, and where you're gonna hold those, and because at some point, Frank's have to distribute those to his staff.
Because we have the other keys.
There you go.
We have the other.
We had a
keys.
jump, we got it, just goes well.
We do, yeah, so they were gonna deliver to a place in Westfield. We
So,
we
yeah,
can't
that
have
would
them deliver to 180 Maple because there will be a 180 Maple when they're ready
So
to.
is that Hardware Specialties in West?
Yes.
Yes.
And they want to ship them somewhere. I live in Westfield, so I was gonna go there to pick them up, but I think they prefer to ship them.
Well,
Well,
we were thinking, we have all the
I know.
keys at central office / Carter right now for the district. So if we bring them all together, then we can hand them off to you. Eventually, they're gonna go back to 180 Maple.
Right, eventually they're gonna go to you, Frank, for your
Oh, yeah.
distribution, your teacher, so you need to know where you're gonna hold them in that interim.
Plus, she lives there.
well, I lived there, but
That's why we.
They don't want her.
John talked to them, that place, and they said they would like to send them somewhere. They said, why don't we send them to Mark Hogan? And I said, so like, is the UPS truck gonna know to go down the road? And
Yeah, I mean, they come to us, but then
They-
then what do we do with the keys? I'm okay receiving them, but I wanna make sure that you need to have them, right? And where they go, right? And this is your
It
district
still makes
keys,
sense to
not-
bring them to central office.
I do
You have all the
That's
keys
locked in
there.
my office.
It's right now
The
in
other
the
keys,
safe.
I have the safe.
I
got
would agree that you need them locked.
Well, you can't ship them there because.
It's Carter Monday, it's
receive
huge.
mail at that point.
Yeah.
Because there will be no 180 Maple. at that
Well,
point.
no, I mean, send them to somebody like Tom.
Um,
Send them to send to.
Send them to
That's what I
600 square and I'll
Right.
decide for you.
Oh, that's what I thought. Okay.
There's two safes.
All right.
Somebody can go pick them up. And
Okay.
Just as a reminder,
Yep.
we have a keying meeting next week.
Tomorrow, 11.
Tomorrow,
Excited.
this
Right.
week, to go over those keys, and part of that is quantities. So thinking about how many of each type of key we need, depending on what the key type is. So if you do talk to them, just make sure they're not shipping them tomorrow.
Right.
To
No,
arrive
no,
in
you told them.
until we
Right.
establish.
Fix down quantities and
Yeah.
They
then,
were also confused that they thought it was a whole independent key system. And I said, no, no,
Oh,
no,
no,
no.
it's
That's
all-
why. we're
He was
staying-
out of the loop. He
Yeah.
said he's on a maternity leave, and he was out of the loop and didn't realize, but everything's.
Yeah,
I said, the loop is very tight.
yes,
Yes,
you need,
we
Get back in the loop.
yeah, you need to do that because. Again, Frank, that's quantities too, right? And then sometimes blanks too, because you need to get them remade. Somebody else has to make.
We
have
have
to make them,
blanks,
right?
yeah.
Yes, we have the blanks too, so. And then. I think that's the best, same with timesters. Help you out.
Off.
Tom, it is. Thank you.
11 o'clock, keen meeting.
Yep.
They're fun.
Anything else on Fontaine side?
I think we're good. Ask any questions?
Oh, there's a great story. The color wall.
Yeah, you're happy with them?
Yeah,
Great.
agreed.
Not necessarily this one, right?
Fluorescent pink, Spartan color.
Yeah, I think this is just queued up as a starting point for this conversation about the walls.
Yeah.
Want to take this, Steve?
Yeah, so these are some preliminary takes at a gymnasium mural. We have pivoted from the original idea of having them painted to now having them be a vinyl application, another Go Graphics product. Both for economy and for speed. So they're all those up, whoever's driving.
Just wanted to show both, but that's not gonna happen.
Because the rendering was skewed so that it isn't a precise fit, right? We're not looking straight at the wall. But, the artist implemented some different elements representing different sports and Spartans and font types. So depending on what anyone thinks, I mean, you can mix and match, or if one of these speaks to you, then That's another thing we can consider. That was for you, Tom.
Thanks.
No problem.
Straight line guy. Awesome.
What do you think, Dory?
I have. I have a little question about how the paint to vinyl. Whether that might want to be aligned. So you see the triangles behind. So what you saw in the first image prior to these was what is under contract as a paint approach. And
Meaning the triangles.
and the lettering, all of that is all painted, would theoretically, if we did nothing, that would all be there automatically. I also want to remind you that, just for your brains, if you can handle this, above the triangular area where you see that gray band, that's an acoustic. Above that will be a row of your existing banners. So keep that in mind. And there's a lot of banners on the right. So that's why it feels very light right now, is in reality, there's going to be a lot more red generally.
That's all of the banners from the existing gym are going in here.
They're all going in.
We took them down, Kevin.
They're
has
going
them.
all fit in that one.
No, they're going to fit on the
They're gonna-
left and the right.
Okay.
The tall ones are on the back, and then in front was one row of the narrow ones, because
No, I just
the desire was to.
Cool.
keep them all. Yeah.
keeping them. Got it. Thank you.
So that was that
The other thing that's not in
$13,000.
this rendering is the flag.
Yes,
And the
on-
flag, there's also a flag that is appearing
top
on the
right.
far right.
Yeah.
So that you can do pledge of allegiance to the flag.
Is that on a poster?
It's
gotta be-
it's on the wall.
Mounted on the.
It's a roughly, I think, 8 by 12.
it's on the back wall, so whoever has their cursor move a little bit to the left.
A little bit to the right. There you go.
I think I might have.
You're pretty close. Right there you go.
Yep, right there.
So those are separate elements, but just to keep that in mind. So all that's painted in, so that's why I was just saying, when I look at the vinyl, I do think, like, how is the paint to vinyl? Because it's trying to, I think, carry the same color along, but they would be two different materials and colors. So getting that to work would be something to work out.
Can you elaborate more why you, I don't know, why we wouldn't paint it? Is it gonna be that much more time, Steve?
Well, the way they described it, it's basically becomes a gigantic paint by numbers, right? It's not. I wish I had her description in front of me, but I don't. But basically, she's like, I can paint it if you want me to paint it, but it's going to cost a lot of money. And quite honestly, the way these are predominantly done is with vinyl. I had paint in my head because that's what we did over at the dugouts at Birchland, but. We could, I mean, if anyone, if we wanted to have paint, we certainly could. She did mention that she had left the triangles in the background just to give it some texture, but you don't have to. You could leave them out, whatever someone likes to see.
I have a question. Hi, Beth. Was it originally, were we quoted for it to be painted originally? And because I like the painted better. And if we don't do the painted, I would prefer the signs that don't have the figures on it, because I think they just kind of, they're kind of cool, but they kind of break it up too much.
Yeah.
But just a thought, I was just curious if we had already gotten quoted what we were paying for it to be painted. Thanks.
Contract.
Yeah, it's the painted element is already in contract. So should we go forward with the vinyl, then we would get a little credit back for where the paint is that's now vinyl, right? And then you pay for the vinyl as an ad and its production. So there's a little math that has to
Beth,
happen.
is that what you were asking, or were you saying if you were to do anything at all, you would prefer to see it painted as opposed to vinyl?
I would prefer to see it painted, because then I feel it is finished. Whereas if we put the vinyl up, it's going to feel like
The
it
first
was
one
an
is what.
Go
add-on.
back to the first one so you can see it, go one more. So that's what we owe, Beth, right there.
Yeah. I
That's
guess I
per
feel
contract.
like it's a complete thought, and it was designed to be that way. Where if we use vinyl, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, they slapped a sign up. Now they could make it look really great. It could fit perfect. But I guess I feel this looks like it was intentional and done purposeful as opposed to vinyl that might feel a little bit like it was thought of after.
And so, Dory, are you saying vinyl would cost us more than potentially?
Yes.
No, she's
No,
saying
no,
yes.
well, it's going to be an ad because you have this already.
Right.
So whatever you do, you're
We'll
changing.
get some credit for the paint, but that won't cover the whole cost of vinyl, so vinyl will actually cost us more.
It will, yes.
Okay.
Yes, because
What do most new high schools do for their gym?
you see both. Honestly, you see both. There are pluses and minuses to both. We actually have typically done a lot of vinyls. We went away from that intentionally and tried to simplify this in order to do it as paint originally, because, you know, vinyls over time, you can have some challenges, but vinyls allow you to do more complex things sometimes. So that, and we intentionally tried to keep it fairly simple so that it could be easily painted and wasn't too complex.
And we can certainly just stay the course as is, right, with, you know, that graphic in the background that is in fact painted, right?
Right, we can even
I like the
also,
simplicity of that too.
I would say if there's anything you want to tweak here that you find, like you want to explain this a little bit further, the font was selected in relation to other fonts to provide the school with a modern font, because that was a request from the district. So we tried not to introduce an old time font or, you know, so it is simple, but it's simple by design. If we want it to be more readable, it's not that hard for us to add a white stroke or something, you know, we can do those things. What I see in her design that are, you know, that I think people might like the balls in the background, even that we could add to the paint, you know, we can alter the paint because we would want to finalize that before the painter begins. Now, right now, it is what's in the drawings, but even then, we're going to have to dimension it and provide it in such accuracy that the painter is going to do it. And we've been wanting this to get results so that we can be sure that they're not held up at all. And we have all that math worked out. A small tweak to that math wouldn't be a big deal, frankly. So honestly, my gut feeling is it would be, I don't think there's enough difference in what's happening here in the vinyl that it's beneficial to go this route. Because if we wanted to add the word Spartan, we could add it. If we wanted to add a ball, we could add it.
Or you would,
But I don't even know that you need to.
with. I change it up on you a little bit here.
Uh-huh.
The alt PE space or the weight room, is there any type of design in those spaces, or is it pretty blank walls?
They're pretty blank walls.
So I just wonder if.
Yeah, if you wanted to spend money on something new, I thought about that as well, but all these
Smaller,
much
smaller vinyl mural in that space, and maybe we stay with the original of what we have in the gym. And with the all PE space, maybe some variation of what we're seeing up there or something in the weight room. So I just wanted to look it up. I just Googled like vinyl murals in gyms, and when I look it up, it gives me different examples of like weight room vinyl examples. I'm like, these actually look kind of cool. You know, it might maybe make sense on a smaller scale. Just a thought.
Lift like a smart.
I think with the plain one, I like the idea of adding a white
Yeah,
stroke, make it more readable.
Yeah,
Can we have depth story like the second one?
Yeah.
If you go back, the middle one, the Spartan, see how there's
with the
depth to
red,
that?
with the
Yeah.
drop
Is
shot.
that
kind of thing.
paintable as well?
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't say in the
try
mall,
not to
but
make
just
it too complex, but
you can add
we
that
would
depth.
discuss that with our
Depth.
painter and be sure that they get what we're trying
And does the font match holistically throughout the building, including the floor of the gymnasium?
Yes.
It's all matching.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, straight. I like the different sizes of East Long Meadow and Spartans too, as the middle one, just a personal
So
preference.
so that would be the question that I would ask if we were going that direction is, the big difference, I believe, is the original graphic is just, oh, it does say Spartans.
It's all
Okay,
uniform though.
great, it's still there. So yeah, we could differentiate the size of that, and I want to not overcomplicate too much, but we could drop shadow it if you want to make that a little readable. I would agree with that. I mean, this is a render from Revit, so some of that's probably there, but we could pump it up. We could make Spartans a little bit bigger. The advantage of this also, we have a little more space, so I think the lettering ends up larger than in the vinyl, which I think is good, if you agree. Anything else?
Looking at it from across the.
In the white strips, just to make it more readable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That on a drop shot would make it look nice.
I think what I would advocate for is maybe the drop shadow over that original design up there and paint. And then if we're going with the mural options, maybe it's vinyl, maybe doing something in. If that all P.
And all, yeah.
That's a good idea, because you could get more, there is, and then again, it could be second day, it doesn't have to happen.
Yeah,
right
it's
away,
one of those
right?
items, like the
With
space is a
that
little
space.
smaller, and if you look at some of the ones on here, they're.
Does it have to be secondary? What can we?
Well, I'm just trying, I know that in this area in particular, we have a wood floor, we really wanna get this worked out, so there isn't conflicts in construction. In the alt PE room and weight room, we have a rubber floor, and they're tall spaces with a lot of wall area up high particularly. So if I think putting something in either of those rooms could be fun, and I would say, sure, you can bring a vinyl in after the fact and install it fairly easily.
Okay.
So we would prep it, with a primer. Nobody would, and it does that way if it does take time. It would.
I can still fund it through the budget.
Yeah.
What about any, just brainstorming here like Frank, but since Steve, you shared the photos, I think it was at Birchland that this was done, right? Elsewhere at Dugout. So those are at Dugout. So are there any other site features that this could be added, in terms of the playing fields? I know we get the prefab dugouts that have been, if no, but is there something outside we could put it on?
Varsity dugouts are gonna be like first one, right? Those are block.
Yeah, so.
Are they?
Yeah, the varsity ones, not the JV ones.
It'll be painted.
And what's the, yeah.
So it's a split face of what it is.
It's plain, and then I think.
Probably similar setup to what you got over at Birchland.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a.
That was a paint, and you probably go paint if you're going exterior.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know if there's a preference to bring it inside and all that. I'm just brainstorming.
And that's a later stage, so that would be.
You can go crazy. with vinyl,
Recovered.
too. You can do a lot of different. Oh, Francis, we did, athletes on the wall, full size, like they took pictures of playing games, and it's incredible how they did that. You can go crazy. You can just keep it simple. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some time to think about it.
So paint then is the consensus? And with those tweets
In the gym.
from Jim? Yep.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
All red and then with the white.
Yep.
Okay. And then same size, different size?
It sounds like is there consensus to the idea of trying to increase the size of Spartans? Is that something everybody agrees they like?
You want to put the
I
middle
did.
one there?
Bigger Spartan.
Jamie,
Spartan, then
the one with the
Simon.
tree, that one. I thought, yes, like that one. They're both
Yeah,
all-
I like the middle one.
Yeah, in terms of that scale. difference,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And no other effects.
I do like the
Basically
Spartan
focusing on the
font for
font.
the Spartans too, unless that's impossible to do.
Spartan.
Oh, it's possible. So if we want
You know,
to
like
take-
the two different fonts is nice, and I like the Spartans just looks a little more Spartan-y. That makes sense?
Great word, Beth.
That's a bad word.
But
Sorry.
as long as we're consistent through the building, right, Dory? Wouldn't you
Well,
recommend
that
that?
would be, we don't say Spartans anyway.
On the floor we do.
We just,
Well,
yeah.
It's just.
Right, but
No,
in
on
terms
the,
of,
in the
gym.
right, and we're not changing.
Oh,
Yeah, it was really interesting. We went through a lot of conversation about
In there.
how much, went with all the athletic department about that. The EL has a little bit of a shape to it.
Yeah,
based
that's
on
traditional. That's what we have
the
now.
tradition, right, right. So that's actually the font, and that's just that simple font. One thought, I did wonder about whether or not, instead of going with the font that we were just looking at, if we took that EL font and did the Spartans in that, so that it relates. Does that make sense? And let me see if she's got.
It's like the top one.
I think it's more like the top one.
Go back, Jamie. No,
Sorry. Yeah,
Let's make it.
well, they're very similar. I think
Yeah.
she's played with that in both.
Yeah, that's Spartan-y too.
those
It
are
just
different
has
fonts.
a more Roman look
It
to
is
it, an
Spartan-y.
older look to it. Yeah.
And whatever font, Dory, we do, can we let the high school know so that when they order things in
Yeah,
the
we work
future?
with them.
Yep.
So, and Yeah.
Can I ask a sort of geometry question? That white space is going straight across, which is not how it looks, because that cutout is there. Is that gonna look weird with two different size fonts? See how the middle cuts out there? Is that? Again, everybody tell me to be quiet. I have no design bone in my body, but that line is gonna be different.
What do you think?
You mean the door?
Yeah, just get rid of Isabel. No.
They know where they are.
No.
Yeah, they drove there. Yeah.
Wasteful.
I guess I would say that the same distance between the bottom of the letters and the top of the letters to the gray would be more consistent, at least for my eye, but.
How about middle ground there is that the lettering of Spartans relates so that it pops a little bit. That,
Taken.
so I agree with you on that. I'm trying to accommodate that idea that the lettering of Spartans might help it pop. If we change the lettering, so we have the modern lettering on East Long Meadow and then Spartans reads differently with a different font that relates to the center board font.
If it's the same size, will that look funny?
That's how it is there, right?
But it's all the same font though. If you go to the other screen, can you go to 3 again? Different font, different size. It's like intentional.
What?
I don't know.
Whatever you decide, I trust you.
Well, she agreed with me. It doesn't matter if she. Good.
Yeah, I mean, he's noticing that the opening is actually higher than what's shown in this, so that would impact that slightly, in that East Long Meadow isn't on the left of the opening and Spartan's on the right, it's crossing over, so it's a subtle difference.
I'm all about subtlety, Dory.
You are.
It's fine.
Jamie doesn't. Curious how that.
So that bottom one wouldn't even work then. That seems way too low.
Yeah.
That with the figures in
Yeah. I just think if it's all the same size, the font will look funny if it doesn't look intentional. I trust you though. You
If
know.
you guys trust us, we will explore.
Okay.
it. And we'll
Just
pick
mock
one
up
we
a
like.
couple. Or not mock them up, but-
And I'll probably show it to Frank because I like having a second opinion, or Kevin, usually Kevin for athletic, so Frank doesn't want to. Okay, great, so that's fine.
Thank you. You're gonna do something in the pool.
Um,
Oh. It's not under time. Oh.
You get this floor anywhere in the new school?
Actually, it's
Favorite floor in town, and I'll just.
Do you want to talk about lasers?
Yeah, I'll make it quick. It's getting late on my vacation day here.
He was not forced to
That's
show
why you
up.
didn't respond back to me. I emailed you 3 times today.
Oh, I know.
Oh.
Pam, come on, Pam. For the committee's consideration is a downward facing projection system on put the other one back up, Ken. The rendering with the Spartans that we're gonna change the lettering up. That one, perfect. Will be a downward facing projection system where you can do designs, and have do different video effects. This is obviously more of a nice to have type of thing. It stems from a Facebook ad that I got, so that's the biggest personal reason I have. I sent it to Steve. Thought it was a nice thing and something that would definitely set our new school aside and give it that, edge across over any other new school. I sent you a video of kind of what it looks like. It's just in your Google chat.
Boston Celtics.
So go to your Gmail.
Is there a PA system in Jim?
Yeah.
Scream really loud.
Careful, your inbox.
I know.
Your inbox.
Put me in. Not even on the committee. Jeez.
Video, yeah.
So it's companies in the South, they exclusively work in high schools.
I mean,
Right.
notice that Texas high school's a lot bigger than ours.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yes, 20,000 kids.
Go back to our rendering of the audience, please.
I mean, that's very.
Oh, wow, video too.
It's
very
region in the South.
My gosh, yes, right.
So I mean, it's, so it'd be 4 projectors that they sync and line everything up. We own the system. There's no ongoing and recurring cost after the original purchase. There is a service where they can assist and build the videos for it. We can also do it ourselves. Thank you. Sorry for the volume.
Yep, all right, let's keep it clean out here. It's a public meeting.
Ryan, do you anticipate that your department would be able to do that?
No.
I mean, you don't?
No,
Okay.
To be able to do what?
the design of the videos.
I do want to point out that you have a new video graphics classroom and your students can start using it. It would be a.
Yeah, this would be a huge showcase for something like that.
Yeah. Like it.
So what kind of huge
Final
ticket
project.
price goes with that?
I don't have to worry about that.
Mine's donating.
Oh, nice.
There's 3 options. Given the size of our gymnasium, the middle option was recommended and the price is 72.5. It's $1,000.
$72.50.
Yeah. That includes the 4 projectors, the installation. There's a media controller that drives the 4 projectors. I think there's something
Software, whatever.
Yeah, software. It's all cloud-based. There's surprisingly no ongoing cost.
Really?
So-
Yeah, there's
We'll
probably
get to the fine print.
another 30 or
So
40.
there's no line voltage, no Cat 6, no cable, you're talking all,
It's another 40 or 50.
right, so how did, how?
Yeah, then we would have to provide that to the projector locations. Yeah.
But all in, you're probably under $150,000.
Like.
Have we talked to any
I'm sure it probably could.
that have
You would
utilized it only?
Yeah, I wanted to see if there was any interest.
Texas high schools really.
Yeah, we should put it, it's in the budget.
Right. Field trip down the.
That's really cool.
Let's see.
I also thought that makes the high school thing for them.
Usability reviews, it's a big investment. I just wanna do. a
No
little
more.
But I think seems really cool.
It does seem really cool.
I think kids would love it.
I
Yeah.
understand earlier about like. people
Ryan, could you go to your
come see
Facebook friends and get a review?
Oh, yeah.
Find out more about it.
Imagine if we're hosting
Yeah.
MIA playoffs.
There, it's, you know.
We need to learn.
You do have to keep
MIA
them
playoffs.
calibrated. And there's a system, I used to work in the museum
Yeah.
design field and
So
calibrating.
they're not
the-
blurry.
Yeah, but
Like,
what
take it
they'll
off.
do is they give you that, sort of like calibrating a monitor, it's a little tricky. The first time you get it great.
Yeah.
It will go out of true. and-
Yeah, 'cause it's 4 targets in the gym now.
But They do give you the interface to try and get that right. And I'm sure there are probably people who can come back when needed. but
Yeah,
once
or something like
it's
that, IT could help with, but the design people,
Okay,
or
Yeah.
design people.
okay.
And we would look to the.
You're more than that to me.
Funding for this, if we did it,
Tom's a design guy.
right?
Yeah, huge.
Tom's face in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, could honestly.
We need, what about timeliness? We need to know.
Oh, you do.
I need infrastructure now, I need to run conduits, I need to know what panels it going, if it's Cat 6, which cabinets it going to,
There's
what kind of line voltage. How do we get the conduits up there now, painted in there, and then video part and that part can go in later. But the infrastructure would need to go in
So
now.
we have that information as we sit here. So if we wanted to do some research, maybe talk to some schools and see what's what.
Hmm.
Getting those up there, getting them painted, and then showing up later after the floor is in, that's.
Or
that's
just
a different
change
story.
Of some sort.
So at least getting the infrastructure in there, I think.
Right,
is-
and then you could, if you couldn't afford it, do it
Yeah,
in a year or so, or two.
Yeah.
Right, infrastructure is most important.
Yes, at least the pipes.
It's true. At least the pipes, at least knowing where they're going, where they land.
We should plan to put it in, though. I would not plan to put it in. We should plan now, because we won't have $120,000
Right.
3 years from now.
No,
So we should do it now.
Do we,
we went,
do we have a number? I mean, we don't.
didn't you say
We don't-
40 to 50, Mark?
Well, we don't
Well,
know what we're doing.
So
If you wanna vote 40 or 50?
if you vote to do it, we would take the information that's been provided, put it into PCO, give it to Fontaine. Fontaine will get a more true price with the conduits and the system.
Yep.
Probably not any of the soft costs, you know, that comes with the
Right,
program.
it would be real engineering.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you
So
do that.
all that's gotta get done, but
Is it, from a infrastructure standpoint, if we didn't do this, would it be helpful to have additional conduits in the ceiling anyway?
Well,
Perhaps, depending on what you're gonna end up doing.
That's what I mean. So, I mean, is there a-
Some flexibility. and
Data
actually
up there and
notices-
power up there is definitely would be useful.
So even if we didn't go this route, it would be a good investment to put that up there for the future, potentially. I mean, just from, as another.
So another way to say that would be, we should probably ask Dory's team to develop the engineering, right? Because we know what size the circuits are.
Mhm.
Show me where they're going. Show me where the Cat 6 is coming from. Expedited, so these guys could get conduits up in the ceiling. And then you could, you know, deal with the rest of it as you go. I mean, other than that, you run the rest, other than that, you're going out there during a break. And you're working over the new gym floor. I mean, it's not impossible, but
I would say that there's close to 0% chance that we're not gonna have to add another conduit in the roof of this gym over the life of the
Right.
roof of the gym.
that's fair.
Right, but would these conduits line up with anything we would need in the future necessarily?
We wouldn't have to move them very far. If we had 4 of them up there.
And we wouldn't.
No matter what we decided to do, they're already there.
Public hearing for your budgets on there.
You know what I'm saying? It would just be the cost of, yeah, relocating the endpoint,
Right,
but we've already done all the hard work.
I think we should just plan to do the whole thing. I like it. Man, I mean, if you're trying to distinguish this building for $120,000, this is gonna make this gym like next level,
Really cool.
you know?
Yeah.
And then we've got contingency money, it's there.
That's
And-
what you-
The project is.
Yeah, so subject to any, you know, information we might have found out to disqualify it, I think I don't know. I like it. I think it's awesome.
We can fact check it because it's gonna take Dory
Right.
at least a couple of hours to do all this stuff. If it falls out of bed, then fine.
Yeah. You can use this space story for a little meeting if you'd like.
We have a key meeting by 11.
I mean, it's a timely issue if we have to get the conduit in and, I don't know, does anybody not want to do it? It's not my money, so I could. go for
Yeah.
it.
I guess I'd feel uncomfortable going any further than putting the
Just kind
pipe in right now.
right.
Well, but why put the pipe in
Cause it's
without
not
doing the
as
project?
big of a commitment to the project.
What's your concern?
I don't know. I feel like we're having a lot of conversation about spending a lot of contingency money, even though we're in good shape at this point in the project. That's all.
But in the grand scheme of it, this is a minor cost, right?
Maybe.
And it'll change this gym exponentially. Like, this will be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, so would turf on the baseball field.
But that's $1 million.
Well, I know, but all these are gonna add up as we go here.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they certainly do.
And if the infrastructure's there, when we have our wish list of items towards the end, then we can say, okay, well, the stuff's there, so we can add it at that point.
Great. So we would be able to add it at that point if we did it.
Just putting in the hardware.
Yeah, right.
When does that
Yeah,
happen?
what we can do is put the PCO together as 2 PCOs, one for the infrastructure and one for the system.
Yeah.
And then have that priced out.
Yeah.
And then you can execute the second one when you want. You do have to plan on doing the first one. That has to be the second one we walk away from, though, because Mark needs to put that in action.
And then Dory, when do you execute the second one? What's the timing on that in terms of the whole project? Before we're done?
I would guess that I don't know how long this company needs to commit to their part of it, but I mean, it would be lovely, obviously, to sort of have, start executing that in the summer. When, you know, because that's the easy part. That's them coming in, setting up and installing it. So it's whenever you're comfortable with your budget. And whether you've.
And I think it would be great to have it for opening of the school, like, so.
I would also point out that you do have a projection system
Right,
in
right,
there.
Here's your new schedule.
It's just not as flashy and fun. I'm not saying that you should do it. I think this is very.
Yeah.
cool. But, you know, if it comes online in December during basketball season instead of January, into September. it's
Yeah,
not-
but I'm just thinking we're gonna open this, we're having a grand opening in October, November. And to have it versus to not have that, I mean, that's,
If it was doable.
I just think it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like I have the alternate opinion, so.
You heard about valid.
Check their logo.
That's right. MSBA logo on the floor.
See?
Announce them.
There you go.
The reimbursement rate.
They will
That's-
partner with us every time.
What are we gonna do? Are we gonna proceed as Lauren just described? Let's get this thing
That
drawn
sounds like the
quickly,
conservative way to do it.
and in the meantime, we'll do the homework.
Yep.
And, we'll be able to advise the committee as to the feasibility.
Right, that was just what I saw today.
I agree with that. Like put the conduit in, get it set up, and then let's get some, more info on it because it does look cool. But I think doing it in the staged approach is good.
Motion then?
Motion.
Same my motion then. I'll try them. So I move that we, Jones Whitsitt develop two PCOs
Yes, he goes
for the conduit one and then the finished
Infrastructure and system.
infrastructure for the first, system for the second, as discussed. And then do we need approval of the first one to actually do the work?
No, because it'll be under a threshold.
Okay, great.
Can be dealt with.
Second.
Nice job.
There's no discussion.
No discussion, okay. Mr. Crucial.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm a yes. Ms. Blair,
Yes.
Mr. Page,
Yes.
Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Hill,
Yes.
Ms. Martin Boucher,
Yes.
Mr. Penny,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson, Mr. Christensen,
Thank you, yes.
Ms. Collins,
Yes.
and Mr. Quimby.
Yes.
Good one, Ryan. Nice one.
That was really cool.
Nice find.
No, very cool.
On vacation as well.
Gotta go on vacation, Laura.
Looks like the last one is.
She does on vacation. Cookies and lasers.
Answer Pam's emails.
Five times. Tennis courts.
Tennis courts.
So, yeah,
It was tracked with Greg.
so we had a conversation with, Greg, myself, Kevin, and Kevin had recommended that we add both benches to the tennis courts and also, I believe,
Benches around the interior.
correct. And then also the visitor, he had showed a picture of what you guys have over at the field for the 3-row bleachers that are there. So we talked about that for visitors seating as well. So he shared, and I don't know if I sent it through to you yet, Dory, but the standard 3-row bleachers that they have over at the athletic field. I think they have some elsewhere. But I can share that with you. Kevin's just interested in bringing that seating into, if we can reuse what's there for that aspect, but
It was a,
That's the part I'm confused by.
Are
'cause
these
I've heard
benches
about it.
for athletes or benches for spectators?
so they're
benches are for the athletes.
correct.
The bleachers are for spectators.
Kevin had asked from a design perspective in terms of yes, both, but we thought that it made sense to put the athletes benches inside and the bleachers outside, but we weren't sure. We just wanted to bring it up to the design standard.
See, so they put the benches, because you said not on the end, they put them in the middle.
Yeah.
Next, in between.
Because that's when you change sides.
And you guys, yeah.
Get the rest. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I
Sometimes people come to interview.
texted Gordon this morning and I just had a question. I don't know if it meant for the output this, but it doesn't sound like it. I have a ton of outdoor benches in our courtyards that potentially be repurposed. But I don't know if they're appropriate for this. I have really nice.
Those metal ones.
Yeah, the metal ones, they almost have like a wood finish. But they're not a wood.
Oh, the ones we.
Outdoor seating, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they're good for the.
No.
I'd like to see them be repurposed in some way.
Yeah. I talked to Alex about it.
Design of stories.
Yeah.
Get us some benches.
Yeah, Greg, if we're not talking there, I think they're useful somewhere else.
Yeah.
I have like 10 to 12 nice benches be put somewhere on the campus. I have
some of those too, don't we, Danny?
I just don't think they're athletic.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know. Spectators, yes, if we were just looking for a place to sit outside the fence, maybe. I
Just
think we
benches,
should
but
put those out there.
for
If
the-
they're talking for the team,
think
probably
for
not.
Right.
I also have all, I probably have
Yeah.
30
But there are
learning benches.
existing.
Those are the ones that
That's-
are,
To fold up.
Okay.
they're benches, but you can fold them down and they become desks. They're. We basically put them in our courtyard during COVID to give teachers an alternative space to teach their classes. They're great. They weren't cheap either. You know, we got about 30 of those. I don't know if those would be repurposed somewhere else on campus or.
So Daniel, those are whatever
To the
ones
other
that I was thinking about, because there's also, Frank, there are other ones that are over on the southern side there, you know, that are in decent shape. I wonder if we could.
I have a lot of outdoor furniture that's.
Yeah, so I guess that would be our question is if
It's not that old.
it's something that's there to be used, or are we asking that we work this into the design, I guess was not
So
totally clear.
I'd love to see that stuff used somewhere on campus as opposed to just put somewhere else.
Frank sent you pictures, Dory. Would that be helpful or
It
would
would
you
be,
need to see
well,
it?
I've seen some of it, but it would be helpful. I think it's not really me, it's the landscape team that you want to
Okay.
work with, not my specialty,
Okay.
but
So,
the area.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So I think it's about what do you want to salvage and relocate? And I think he would also be able to weigh in about whether or not what you want, if it's tiered, it needs to be mounted, if it wants to be something more substantial or not, and inside, outside.
And we didn't know about the space that was there.
Yeah,
either, like,
exactly.
That
So
would
I
even
think
work.
that's
and-
there.
some of my benches.
I do think this is a,
Donated them themes on them from,
yeah,
donated on behalf of. Pass one, whatever it might be, so. I'd like to see them somewhere.
Yeah.
So we
this-
should go to Eric.
yeah, and this kind of becomes more of a design process.
Okay.
Sort of an additional.
Who's gonna go to Eric?
These are two different things. So there's
Yeah.
tennis. What do you do with that?
I just
I-
wasn't sure. if it
well,
was-
What do you do with Frank's stuff?
No, I think it should all be the same, though. We should look at the tennis, but we should also at the same time look at these and where they may be going. And
Send pictures.
And
Yeah,
because
thank you.
he also has already installed in the design in certain fields, a lot of seating. So I think it's best that it be all looked at collectively, and then if there's extra equipment that you decide at the end of that, may go to Birchland instead, then.
Maybe those end up on. like
And
this part.
Alex, you must have an accounting of all of those specific items, no?
Not the outdoor
We own
benches.
the building, we talked about, there is, so there are salvage items which you guys have been storing, but. We don't have instruction beyond for some of the site components, all of that. So we're looking At some point here,
For that.
Daniel and Mark will be asking us, where's it go or what are we doing?
Yeah, yeah.
And if there's an immediate need for benches and those benches are unused in that soccer field off to the west side of the school, they could be placed at the tennis courts now while this is sorted out.
And I think we were talking about that as well. I think that maybe I think there's something in the pool.
Yeah.
I think there are bleachers in the
There-
pool.
in
that
the
you might-
Yeah, we-
They're like four, I think they're too wide though, because that space is what, 10
It's not
feet,
the-
12
10
feet,
that
10?
Space between them.
And then you walk
Yeah.
in space probably in front and in back, I would imagine. right?
Yeah, I didn't know. if it
So you
might
could
be-
face one this way, one that way. I was thinking, right? You did bleachers,
Mhm.
but I think the benches are important. I think that's a missing element and
For the players.
they should be nice
Mm-hmm.
and matching obviously.
Mhm.
So
Cover the red ones, right?
So in terms of the goal, I don't have an email about this, so it'd be, I don't,
Picnic tables.
maybe I
red
lost it
picnic
or something,
tables.
but yeah, if you
Maybe
have
also
that,
have-
just
I'll
so I
send
can
it
get the
over
program
so that
going.
Definitely.
and then Dory, you'll contact Eric and
Yeah,
coordinate with him
and set that up.
and
I
we'll
mean,
come
it's-
back next time with a proposal or ideas.
If necessary, if we can take care of it, we'll start
Okay.
working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't agree.
I also heard from Tom O'Brien that he has a lot of redstone blocks.
Hmm.
For design in the exterior, if you want to need for any of that. he's-
Yep,
he's
I
willing to
actually went
donate.
into this house and
Oh, you have?
looked at his block and
Oh, okay.
I like that one and.
Thanks,
where
Abby.
we have a-
That's great.
A general
Second block.
date
Yeah.
going on to tag the specific one.
Okay.
So at some point when we have happen to be hanging out with a really large lift, we'll get over and pick one up. But so yeah, he's been very generous to
Great.
offer some, I
Yep.
think, and I think the town also has a lot. So
Okay.
a lot of local stone's gonna be going into the site.
Like, you look at
We're
tennis
looking
courts,
for
you've
a
already got, sorry.
One for our bench for the inside of the pool
Good.
building. Right, so that's the one that we're gonna get from O'Brien's.
Redstone Natatorium.
Should we take out Corey out of that name?
You cannot take it out now. It's done.
It's done.
Somebody suggested earlier that we should have listened, but it's fine.
Redstone Core Natatorium.
There you go.
Remember earlier in the day,
Oh, the sign. Signs are
all the signs.
so, roger that. Back to the-
I think she's gonna wring their neck.
I want to say so.
So just coming back, are we looking to order benches from tennis courts? Is that the idea?
No, we're gonna look
Not
at
yet.
the existing.
A full investment.
And
Okay.
Eric's
Some
gonna do
new,
an
but
assessment.
try and reallocate what we have where we can.
You'll end up with benches.
Yeah, so that'll be, I assume Kevin can answer those questions, maybe somebody from the school though, because maybe there's, I don't know, or from the district, it would be helpful because you may have other locations. That's going so-
Yep, that's fine.
You
I can
may
answer
want things to go. I don't want to call something a salvage that you could be using somewhere else.
So,
I think we'll probably engage Alex because he's been doing a great job of keeping track of some of this.
To do the inventory of the exterior stuff?
Yeah.
Are you able to do that?
Helps out.
Yeah. Okay.
pre-meeting, I engaged.
Pictures.
It's a lot simpler than the building itself.
Yeah, I meant.
I'll get some pictures of the benches that we have in our courtyards too, so we can have that discussion whether they make sense around our campus or school.
We want it to be better than Long Meadow, so that's not like the law.
Yeah, they will, Ryan.
Bring the laser show outside.
All right.
Be beautiful.
Is there any other new business?
Steve,
We're at a robust 2 hours.
I know, I hate to go further, but we've sort of found out a operational issue with the press box and taping of games. And the window configuration is a little bit difficult for Jamie, and I don't want to overspeak or say anything wrong, but
It's honestly because of the width of the window, so it only opens, it's like about as wide as me, and so it only opens right here, so my camera, and because it's tilted, so the camera has to be like way out in order to get rid of that window line, and then the wood. So ideally, the camera would scooch this way so that the wood's not a problem, but I can't scooch that way because that's where the window stops.
so the simple questions becomes, do we have to deal with what we've got? Or is there
It's a pre-manufactured, you know, I mean, we could look at some, we could look at that, but I mean, up on the, on Clement days, up on the roof would be, you know, your clear shot, usually they do the cameraing.
Okay.
But
so we'll just have to sort of purchase our equipment appropriately, I guess. And try to make it.
Yeah, I guess I was.
retrofit, sorry, can we
Wasn't
retrofit?
sure if there was a way to switch out that one window pane.
Weird element. I'd have to check in. I can ask Eric if he has.
Yeah,
We
we can
also,
look at it,
did-
it's pre-engineered.
yeah, and we did go through the design process where I do believe the conversation was that the sticks would be outside on that landing or on the roof. I actually think the intent, we have notes on it, but that coaches were gonna.
Yeah, the coaches are up top. Yeah.
I thought there was the exterior landing is what Dawn felt would have been the better location for the sticks rather than inside.
So I was not aware of that. The meeting I was in, I just said I needed my window to open.
Yeah.
I didn't specify how.
How wide.
That's my bad.
That's-
But yeah,
and I think another.
because we have that whole spot just for us. To not have a camera there would be a shame.
Have
Yeah,
inside.
so I'll
It's gonna rain and snow.
find out if there's a way to modify that by finding out what the company is. We can give them a call and ask that question.
Yeah, even if because it's two windows and they both slide halfway. So even if it was just one and it just slid all the way, that would solve my problem.
Why don't we just make a meeting to go out and take a look what you're looking at, bring it with them, we'll just go from there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Not on my list.
Thank you, Steve.
My pleasure, Thomas. Any other new business? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
What about our next meeting?
Oh, well, I guess we did that. What do you think we need, Ben?
So let's have to go under anything on the agenda with Kathy sitting here.
So next month's gonna be very busy, obviously. I think something after the 17th would be good. If we can shoot for that.
You want me before the 17th?
What we're gonna need one
Yeah.
right after is my big
Does
target.
there
So
need to
if
be
we want something
before
before,
things
that's fine.
Get shut down.
That would be fine. I just suspect we'll need one shortly thereafter. But yeah,
I'm going 22nd to the 1st.
Okay, okay. What's the previous sale?
Yeah, I plane to Phoenix.
June 11th?
Eleventh, we have the.
Won't be a haircut on your vacation.
We
Won't be in your eyes by then.
Can't do the 11th. We got the recognition reception for the district.
And I'm just throwing Thursdays out there if you guys want to do a different day. Wednesday seemed to work this time, so
We could probably do that.
Wednesday the 10th.
I do
Fine.
half day.
Gordon, I have retirement parties at 10. Or no, is that you?
No, that's
That's-
So,
No.
Everybody.
that's not today.
no, it's 18.
Oh,
time?
that's it.
Yeah.
I think it's retirement party.
I think it's a surprise, you guys.
Lord.
We're talking, we're talking June, right?
Yes, we are.
So the 11th or the
Okay.
10th?
And that we couldn't make it till 4
Yeah.
because of this meeting or 3:30.
Yeah, I won't be here.
Of the 9th.
That's a council meeting night.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah.
What was wrong with the 11th?
The 11th is the ELPS.
Oh, yes,
recognition
yes, yeah.
reception.
And Ryan's
Their
haircut.
haircut.
Yeah, you need one, by the way.
Yeah, could you get that before the reception?
We're trip.
well, let's start with,
Why not the 10th?
we probably won't have a need within the next like 4 weeks, right? In terms of a change order and amendment,
Yeah.
hopefully. Beyond that, obviously, we're gonna want to meet, like Frank said before. Everybody shuffles for the summer. I think that makes sense, but
So maybe hold the 10th at 3:30 as a hold and.
Yes.
You do the 17th. Oh, that's when you're doing it.
yeah, my thought with the 17th was just we would have updates for you guys in terms of how that all played out and timing wise, not to say we can't have another one afterwards and just for informational, but
I'll be busy before Mark kicks us out.
Looking at the 10th.
10th, 2:30.
I saw you put a request in for the National Guard.
And Ryan, the space is available that you can reserve.
A good question.
Why not Carter Movie?
You can't.
Because we can't.
Get those doors.
Why not?
Because they lock.
It's their policy. The doors have to remain locked.
For the public.
Just put it here.
Yeah, plus this gives us.
Do we have to have public access? Probably, huh? Open meeting law.
Yep.
3:30.
We're doing 3 and 3:30 instead of 3.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so 3:30 on the 10th?
Yeah,
Correct.
sure. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's space to be determined.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just confirm with the
Okay,
chiefs.
thanks.
Find somewhere.
Yep.
Oh, cat press box, baby.
Sweet. With the new windows.
I'm sure.
Or the courtyard with all the furniture.
Seats are cheaper.
Yeah, right. I'll give you a motion to adjourn, Mr.
Second.
Chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
The roll call vote or is everybody in favor?
Aye.
aye,
So online, everybody in favor?
yep, aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.